Welcome back to your crafty place, and I'm Beth. I decided that I wanted to make a card design sheet with multiple designs using the same size pieces of paper. So this one, there are 9 different cards that you could make on this template, but they all use these size pieces of paper. So the black that is around the back is a 5 3/8 by 4 1/8 piece. The back piece, which is the white piece there, is 5 1/4 by 4. They all have a strip that is 1 by 4. They have a smaller piece that is 1 1/2 by 2 1/2, a 2 1/2 by 2 1/2 inch square, and then a 4 by 2 1/2 inch piece. So all of these cards have the same size pieces of paper on them. They're just all done differently, but there's 9 different templates that you can choose from. These 2 are the only 2 that I added other stuff to, so they have embellishments if you wanted to put embellishments, whether that be like Nuvo drops, ephemera, pearls, maybe if you are doing the diamond dots and you're using those, you're putting those on there. Maybe you have a small circle punch and you're going to punch out some circles, even just a hole punch. If you just have a regular hole punch, those circles are big enough to be ephemera or be embellishments on your card. None of them have sentiments on them, because the sentiments you can kind of put wherever you would like to put them. If you think that I need to add a strip for the sentiments, let me know. I'd be happy to do that. But some sentiments are like this. They're long and skinny. You have others like this that go up and down instead of left to right. You have ones like this that are all different shapes, so they will fit on the card in different ways. So to put a sentiment on there and say that you need to follow it this way, I usually don't follow where they have the sentiment on the card template, so I decided not to do it on this one. But if you would like me to add it, let me know and I will be happy to do that. But I will put a link to the template in the description down below. So let's go ahead and get into the card. I am going to use this Park Lane printed paper pad. It is 48 sheets. Park Lane was the Joann's brand, so you may be able to find these at, I think Ollie's has some of the Park Lane stuff, some of the Joann stuff. I'm not sure where else you might be able to find it, but it is from 2024, so it's not old, but I don't know that you'll be able to find it anyplace. And I don't see a name for it on here. I just see Park Lane printed paper pad, and then there is the numbers on the back. So we need, when you're looking at this, I've got it so that there's the background, which is the white, so that's 1 piece of paper. These 2 could be the same or they could be different. They are basically about the same size as this piece, just trimmed. And then you've got this one that's another piece, and then this one that's another piece. So maybe 4 pieces of paper is what you're going to need. So I'm going to flip through here really quick and pull out 4 pieces of paper that I think will go together. So I'm going to go ahead and get my paper trimmer. I'm using my guillotine because I like my guillotine more. So I'm going to start, we'll come back to the black piece in a minute, but I'm going to start with my largest piece, which is the 4 by 2 1/2. So I could go 4 this way, but our 4 is up and down on all of these except for these 2 here, and it goes side to side. So I would want to do this one probably at the 2 1/2. No, let's do it at the 4. It's going to waste a little bit, but let's cut it and then cut it to 2 1/2. I do not have any layering pieces on these. If you want layering pieces, you could, but this is cardstock, so you really don't necessarily have to have the layering pieces. I'm going to set all the pieces aside. So that's 1 piece. I'm going to do another piece here. I'm going to do it in this piece. So I'm going to cut it at 2 1/2. I'm going to cut it at 2 1/2 again. And then I'm going to cut it at 1 1/2. I'm going to cut it at, I think, 1 1/2 this way. because our 2.5 goes across there like that. There's this piece here. We could do that piece, and then we would need it the other way. So let's do that. We'll just do that one. So it is 1.5 that we need on this one. So that's 1.5. So that's those two. So now we need the strip. So I think I'm going to do the bubbles in the strip. So that means this one is going to be our back piece, which is going to be the 5 1/4 by 4. And then our strip is a 1 inch by 4 inch piece. I think I'm going to go so that the purple gets cut off and not the pink. So there are all of our pieces. I'm going to go ahead and quickly cut a black piece of cardstock down to the 4 1/8, approximately, by 5 3/8, approximately. The 8s are harder because there's no line that goes down on them. Sometimes it's harder to see, so it doesn't have to be perfect. So I'm going to get my glue, and I'm going to lay these out just so that you can see. So if we are going to do this one here, the piece is going to go like this. We've got one piece down here. The other piece is going to go up here. This piece is going to go like this, and then this piece is going to go over the top like that. So that'll be our card, and then we will add a sentiment. So let's go ahead, and if we wanted to cut a bunch of different pieces, we could make 9 different cards with the exact same cuts that we just made. So we're going to glue this down on here, and you could, if you don't have any mojo, you know, you want to get started but you don't really know what you want to do, a great way to do something is to grab a card template design and just start making some card fronts. You don't even have to put sentiments on here. You don't even have to glue, since we're using this back piece, you don't even have to glue them to a card base yet. You can wait, because maybe when you get ready to do this, you want to put it on a pink piece of paper instead. So I have this pad that I got from Amazon. Maybe I want to do this as my card base, or I think there's maybe a purple in here. Maybe. Yeah, so there's a light purple in here. Maybe I want this as my card base when it's all said and done, because that will pull it out. So there's nothing that says that you have to do your card bases or card fronts, put them on a card base, put a sentiment on them, and have a place for them to go at that moment in time. Have fun being creative. Do some card fronts. Don't worry about the sentiments, just worrying about getting your technique or finding out whether or not you enjoy even making the cards. So this one, you can kind of see where the white space is, which would be our shell, our scales in the background there. It does not have to be that exact amount. It can be whatever you want. I would recommend the seashells on the white pieces here going up, just because they are directional. None of them are turned a different way. And then I like to try and keep about the same amount of space whenever I'm doing them like this, at this side and up there. So there's that one. Now our next piece would be this piece. You can also pop all these up, because remember we bought those foam squares a couple of videos back. So we still don't have a lot of supplies, but we do have some foam squares, so we could pop some of these up if we wanted to. That one's a little bit, I gave it a little bit more space on the side here than it is over here. That's okay. And then our pink bubbles. So that kind of comes over this and over this a little bit. So we're going to go up to the top. And you could add additional paper underneath here if you wanted, But if you are just starting out and you don't have a lot of paper scraps, don't feel like you have to, because it's not going to be that noticeable that there's a divot or a dip in there. So there's our first card base. So that one was pretty quick. So let's, just because we have the time, let's look at this and say, okay, well, we've got all that fabric, all that paper left. So we've done that one. Now we want to do maybe this one here. So this time, let's do the bubbles at the 2.5 inch. And then let's cut one at 2.5 and one at 1.5. Because again, they're all cut the same size. So now we're done with this one again. We're going to put this to the side. So now we need our strip. So let's make this guy our strip this time. So this is going to be 1 inch, not inches, because there's only 1 by 4. So there's that. I don't know. Let's see what we've got here. Yep, I've got enough to make this, so we're going to do this at 4 by 5 1/4. So I have a little bit left on that one, a little bit here. And so then the only piece that we have left is our 4 by 2.5. So we're going to look at this one here. We're going to go 2.5 by 4, and these will be sideways, but that'll be okay. It actually won't be, because we are doing it right. We're doing this one here, so we'll be okay. So, oh, I forgot the black. Let's do the black piece again. So I need to cut another piece down. I'm going to cut it to 5 3/8-ish by 4 1/8-ish. Okay, so this time it's going to go like this, like this, like this, like this, which that one will be sideways, but that's okay. And then this one is going to go on here like that. So actually, let's see, do we have enough? I wasn't paying attention to that. Let's see if we have enough to cut this way. So we're going to cut 1 inch. And 4. I'm going to put this one away, and we're going to use that one. So again, I'm going to take these off to the side here. Start with this one. Line it up so I have about the same amount all the way around. Press it down. This piece is next, so we're going to glue it down. This goes edge to edge. I have a little bit at the bottom. So edge to edge of our other pattern background paper, not to the black. So this is again the one we're doing right here. So now we're going to put this one down. This one goes closer to the bottom. Now it's time for this one. It goes like this, so that this one then comes over here like that. So we're gonna glue this one down like this. Trying to make sure it's straight. Sometimes it's hard, like these are not straight in the background because of the way they're designed. So sometimes it's hard to make sure you're straight. Just do the best that you can. You're still going to add a sentiment on here, so that'll cover up some of the unevenness of it. Or you can also purposefully put it down so that it's uneven. You don't have to try and get it so that it's perfect. So this time I'm trying to make sure I have about the same amount here that I do up here. And then I'm going to press down. So it comes down over this one just a little bit, and it goes over this one just a little bit. So there we go. We are at, what, 17 minutes? And we've done 2 card fronts. So that means there's 7 more that we could do on here, because we've done this one and we've done this one. So, and they are, again, all that size. Those are the pieces that you need for every single one of these 9 cards that are on here. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will get card fronts or card bases made for these and get them glued down and put a sentiment on it and take a picture of it, and that'll be at the end of this video. It probably was at the beginning as well, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will have another one of these card templates that will have the same size pieces of paper that you need to cut for 9 different cards as well. I will do several of them with as many card fronts as I can make. I can get 9 on here and you still be able to read them, so it will be 9 will be the max each time. Some of them may not have 9. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.